know I told you I wouldn't have another whiskey review before Thanksgiving, but I lied. And I know I told you the bottles would have to be under $30, but apparently I lied again. Actually, I went in Wednesday at my local liquor stores when they get their liquor deliveries in. Now, about 2 months ago, now, of course, they never get any BTAC or any of these allocated. They get tons of expensive bottles, but you're talking, $200, $300 bottles. I ain't buying that shit. But about 2 months ago, they got a couple cases of Blanton's, a couple cases of Eagle Rare, and a couple cases of Buffalo Trace. Well, I've had Blanton's, and I wasn't going to pay the $80 or whatever. But I did pick up a bottle of Eagle Rare, and I think I paid about 40, $42 for it, something like that. Well, anyway, I happen to be going in there to get me some beer for Thanksgiving today, and I just happened to. I said, Anthony, I said, you get anything good in your lockup? Because I keep all the expensive bottles in lockup. He said, nah. He said, not really. He said, but I did get a case of Buffalo Trace in. So he went behind the counter or whatever. He pulled one out. He said, you want it? I said, yeah, sure. I mean, it's not like I haven't drank Buffalo Trace before. I've bought probably a dozen or more bottles of Buffalo Trace over the course of time. You'll find them here and there. You don't find them all the time. So, when I'm in the mood for, a good bourbon, usually I'll go to a Buffalo Trace because it's, a good solid whiskey for the price. You know what I mean? So, well, I normally try to keep this series at under $30. I paid $31 for this Buffalo Trace. So I'm only $1 over budget on the $30. So that's not unreasonable. And it's Thanksgiving. So I figured why not splurge, pick up the Buffalo Trace. I'll enjoy it tomorrow. I'm running my still tomorrow for Thanksgiving. My long-suffering girlfriend, who Lord knows why she puts up with my shenanigans. I'm always torturing her, making mashes in her kitchen, all kinds of crap. She's got to work a double shift tomorrow. She's a nurse. So they asked her to work a double shift. She's getting paid, double wage on a double shift. She's going to make like a fortune tomorrow. So she couldn't turn it down. Normally we'd have Thanksgiving dinner together. We have, the last few years or whatever. Well, since we've been together 8 years. We probably had Thanksgiving together just about every year. But she's going to be working from 7 in the morning till 11 at night. So I'm going to go run the still. Hell with it. What else do you do on Thanksgiving when you're by yourself? Kids are grown, moved away. So that's what I'll be doing. Here's the Martin. If you're wondering why it's sitting on a guitar, here's my Martin acoustic. It's not the best Martin acoustic, but it is my Martin acoustic, and it's paid for. I've written a ton of songs on this. This guitar has seen some play. So here we go with the Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Buffalo Trace taste test. If you like whiskey, probably if you're tuning into this, you know what Buffalo Trace is. But we'll give it a sniff. Very light nose. You get the caramel and the oak. Anybody who's drank Buffalo Trace knows it's not a spectacular bourbon. It's not like jumps out, but it's a solid bourbon. I believe it's 7-year. And trust me, compared to that 7-year Jim Beam, although I can't complain about the Jim Beam Black 7-year. Sometimes I drink it, I love it. Sometimes I drink it and I'm like, this shit isn't really that good. And then I'll go back to it and I'm like, it's not that bad. And then, so it's kind of wishy-washy on the Jim Beam Black 7-year. From what I understand, Buffalo Trace is a 7-year. So, very light nose, pleasant, nothing offensive. It's not jaggedy, it's smooth. You can smell the ethanol, but it's not like obnoxious. You know what I mean? But there's not a lot there. It's got some good legs in the glass. I haven't even turned it up to sip it. Yeah, it's light, pleasant. You get that typical bourbon nose, but very light. You know what I mean? It's a lot of bourbons, they smack you in the nose with the oak and with the brown sugar. This is just that hint of brown sugar, that hint of wood, hint of oak. I don't like it when bourbons are over oaked. All right, here we go, down the hatch. Yeah, pleasant. Yeah, I get that brown sugar, almost like a raisin or something. You know what I mean? I'll go back to that again. Not over oaked. It's very pleasant, very easy sipper. It goes down smooth. Yeah, sweet. It's very sweet. Yeah, I almost get like a hint of raisin on the back end of my palate for some reason. I can't say that I ever noticed that before in Buffalo Trace, but seems to be there now. Yeah, nice smooth sipper. You could sip this all day long. Yeah, it's not like a spectacular bourbon, but for $31, and it's Buffalo Trace. I mean, Buffalo Trace has a solid reputation for bourbon making. They've been around forever, even though they've probably been bought out by different companies over the course of time. I don't even know who owns them now. Seagram's, Diageo, someone. Uh, all right, one more sniff, one more sip. Yeah, very pleasant sipping bourbon. Solid. You could go far worse for $31. I think suggested retail is in the high 20s for this, but nobody ever sells it for that. Everyone likes to jack up the prices on Buffalo Trace products. It's become a tradition in the liquor industry. I heard they went to a new distribution company or whatever because they were trying to bundle it and they were just taking advantage of Buffalo Trace's reputation and the amount of money that people were willing to spend on it. But for $31, solid sipping bourbon. Most people know that already. Nothing spectacular. Typical bourbon notes. Very smooth to drink. Very approachable. You could sip this thing all day long and probably not get sick of it. I give the Buffalo Trace a 7.5, which for me, anyone who's followed this series knows I'm not a huge bourbon fan, but I could live with this. There are certain bourbons I tend to like better than others, and I'm a big rye whiskey fan. But obviously, as you know, I'm more of a Scotch and Irish guy. But this is a very solid bourbon, especially for $31. So, hey, get yourself a bottle of your favorite liquor. Enjoy your time tomorrow, Thanksgiving. Enjoy your Thanksgiving meal. Everybody out there, you have a happy Thanksgiving. Stay happy, stay healthy, love yourself, love your friends, love your family, and most of all, enjoy your Thanksgiving and enjoy cheap liquor. All right? Take care.